Happy Thursday, my pop culture junkies. It's Pop Culture Mondays on Thursdays. It's me, Brooke.
Pop Culture Monday on Thursdays.
We have Potato in the house. And the most special guest.
A special guest.
Alyssa Mastromonaco.
I'm so excited to be here.
The famous. She's been a guest on the podcast.
Yes, early days.
Only early days.
Early days.
Those were the days. So, before we get into it, for those of you who are not familiar with this woman's jam.
Oh, the jam. That was very good. That was very good.
Jam maker. She makes really amazing jam. Because you're like, what was it, mommy? What was the...
Oh, Baby Boom.
Baby Boom.
My favorite movie of all time. Sam Shepard was the vet.
And she
moves to New England.
If I move upstate, will I fall in love with a vet that looks like Sam Shepard?
That is the goal.
Okay, so maybe I should.
There's always room for you in my barn.
I know she has a barn. She loves
It's fixed.
Alyssa is a best-selling author ×2. She has 2 books that have been on the bestseller list, one including the New York Times bestseller list.
Yep, so lucky.
Incredible. You are a podcaster with your pod.
It's what we do. We just do it.
And she is a political powerhouse. And we're going to talk a little bit about politics today and also why we don't talk about politics or
It's too much.
But you were the former White House Deputy Chief of Staff under Obama.
I was.
My God.
Those were, every now and again, I think pop culture is as it is here. I'm like, was I like Danny Bonaducci? Did I peak too soon?
Oh my God. To Danny Bonaducci, he did peak soon.
He peaked. He was like 13 when he peaked.
Yeah.
And
He went through puberty.
I was like 35.
You didn't. Then you had 2 best-selling books.
I guess that's true.
Amazing podcast.
But you'll never go back. I will never have the purpose I had back then.
My niece, Heather.
Love. Hi, Heather. Hi, Heather.
Thinks you walk up thinks you're way cooler than me.
And I think you're way cooler than...
Astronomical.
You're at Brooke. Yeah. When I told my friends I was coming to LA, they're like, where are you staying? And I was like, with Brooke. And they're like, at Brooke? And I was like, yes, at Brooke.
It's true. Well, it's so apropos for you to be here because right now, in the timing, the 3rd video podcast, but I created Potato's
Potato.
snuggling.
He's like giving me headbutts.
Come on.
He's like...
He's a true star. This is his first video pod too.
I have been with him on his health journey.
I know.
I'm just so happy that he's here.
When Potato got diagnosed,
yes,
you were on with me, and we're going to brainstorm this next.
100. We have bigger things ahead of us. We have things.
We have to really get this going because we have stuff to.
We do. We have a
dinner at Monica tonight.
We do. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah,
ladies.
So when I started Pop Culture Mondays, the newsletter, it was during the first Trump White House. I can't even believe we're saying that. First Trump administration. And we all needed an escape. That was like children in cages. It was dark days. We needed an escape, and pop culture was the escape.
Yep.
And here we are again. But more than anything, and I really avoided him as like the first administration. There was nothing funny. But now we're in the midst of like a pop culture explosion within the White House and the administration. And
they're very online.
And
they're very online.
Trump wants that.
He does. I don't think he wants to be humiliated. I don't think he enjoyed Signalgate. That made them look very foolish because the minute you walk into the White House, it is the number one thing you are made very clear. No phones, no texting.
Remember the guy who's now out, right? Waltz was saying that, they downloaded Signal onto my phone. Like
and none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense to me. It seems impossible just because of what the iPhone technology is. Like we actually had Blackberries because they were the most secure.
Blackberries are really way more secure. And like when I've been in the White House, they have boxes outside of the room.
Yes, because
you leave your phone.
Because you should not be bringing your phone into a meeting where anything classified can be discussed. Also because who knows who's bugged your phone?
Right.
Like it is crazy the things that can happen. So all of this stuff, but Trump, as we have talked about, he is a producer. He is a TV producer. He just today, before we started talking, he saw the new Prime Minister of Canada in the Oval Office and he produces that for television. He wants everybody in. You know, other presidents would have press conferences where you go to the East Room and you take like civilized questions. He loves the scrum. He loves letting the reporters in. He loves seeing what's going to happen. When he had Volodymyr Zelensky in the office, he literally said at the end of that chaotic, horrible meeting, but we did produce great television. This was great television.
He wants the fight. He wants the drama.
Because it's ratings.
It's rating.
Totally.
Well, it's funny that we're talking about this because I did get feedback, and the reason I brought it up is that some people are like, well, you promised to be Trump-free, and you've sort of skated into politics, and, you know, and or are you a liberal woke podcast?
Right.
I'm not, I don't think
I've never thought of you that way.
Listen, my views are pretty middle of the road. I'm a pretty moderate person. I do believe that women's rights, human rights, gay, lesbian rights, trans rights, you know,
Human rights. Yeah, agree.
rights are sort of the thing, but we're in a new, like, and I don't want it to always be about politics, but when you have the signal gates or the JD Vance memes or JD Vance kills the Pope, like,
That's really hard to avoid.
you can't ignore it.
No. Well, especially when you have a president who retweets a meme of himself as the Pope,
The Pope. And
which is
it's
pretty wild.
making a big deal. No, the Catholics are like, that's not funny.
That's a bridge too far.
Biden or Obama did that.
No.
If Obama
No, they would never.
posted over wearing a tan suit. Imagine what the world would do if he posted a picture of.
No, but he knew it. He knew it. He wanted the
Of
attention.
course he did. He did. Speaking of Obama and Blackberries,
What?
iPhones? Did I ever tell you my Obama?
No, no.
So if I'm given a challenge, I think you're similar. Like, if you could race up the hill in this big hill I live on the top of, if you could race up it in 5 minutes, I'll get you. You're like, I'm going to try it.
Of course, you're always going to try.
I'm going to try. So my former business partner and friend, Matthew Freud, said to me, I guess this was back in 2016, hey, if you can get a group of people, a high profile videographer, photographer, if you can get people with clearance, and you can get in front of Obama in the next 24 hours to film a birthday message for Johnny Ives, 50th birthday Johnny Ives, who was at the
Stop.
you can come to Johnny Ives'
Birthday party?
birthday party in Europe, which was like
To do.
a thing. And I was like, and he says, and he didn't, because I was giving him shit, like, I want to go to this birthday party. He's like, oh,
Right.
I'll tell you what, if you get Obama to do a birthday message and get a videographer and get all this, he's going to be at the Marriott or whatever. This is right after Trump got elected, the first administration.
Oh, wow.
March 2016. If you can get that, then you can come to the party. And I was like, mission accepted. And
You did it?
Danny Clinch. Do you know who Danny
No.
is? Danny is the rock and roll, like probably in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at this point, photographer and videographer for Pearl Jam.
Oh, my God.
Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. He's down in New Jersey.
My faves.
Like, he's the guy.
Right.
And I was like, hey, dude, any chance you could be in New York tomorrow with your team? And could I get your IDs? And and I contacted the White House people, like
Right.
all that. I don't even understand how it happened, but it happened. And then a friend who is saying to you, Raina Mastromonaco. Okay. She came with me.
Right.
And we went with Danny and we got to sit with the president. Was meant to be like, we were told we had 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We were there for over an hour. He then was having lunch with Bono and
Oh, wow.
Jordan, Bono's daughter, it was a whole situation. We were all sort of
Things got a little more fun and loose in 2016.
yeah, started crying.
I'm sure.
I was like, please, and he's like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Listen,
He believed. He really did.
now he's like, it's not gonna be fine. But I got that video and I went to that birthday party and still to this day one of the greatest. Wow. I know.
And all it took was a little birthday greeting from the POTUS.
I mean, all it took was for
And we didn't even know each other back then.
no. Is that weird?
It's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you forever. Yeah.
So, Alyssa, we've had some breaking news since we sat down here, like before.
A little bit, yeah. Barry Diller.
Barry Diller
Is
a
a gay man.
colorly shocked.
That was
Astounded.
we were like, what is this breaking news?
Breaking news. So Barry Diller, the legendary media executive who is married to the legendary fashion designer and cultural icon
Wrap dress.
wrap dress, Diane von Furstenberg, and they've been married for years. And it hit in we all in the inner circle are like, Barry's gay.
Right.
I've seen Barry out at like, you know, certain establishments,
Right.
ways. And I've also seen Barry, he dropped somebody off at my house once, an executive that I was meeting who used to work with him at IAC. And this is so long ago on 10th Street. My phone didn't work in my apartment building at the time. So I had to be outside in case my friend was getting
Sure.
I don't know. And 10th Street runs west-east.
Yes.
One way. And so I'm looking for the car for him to be coming from the west, like coming off of 6th Avenue, turning onto 10th Street. All of a sudden I hear Madonna really loud, like a prayer, blasting from
It's my favorite Madonna song.
it's really
I mean, it's so good.
car speakers. And I can't understand why the sound is coming this way. It's coming from
Right. Was he going the wrong way?
Oh yeah. He's driving a white convertible AMG,
Wow.
cigarette dangling,
Wow.
down,
Style for style.
blaring Madonna, and I mean the best song, and barely stopped. Like my friend had like a 6-pack of beer and was pushed out of the AMG. Barry continued
Smoking a ciggy.
like a prayer, cigarette dangling out of his mouth, and just shot through. And I learned that Barry Diller also doesn't believe in like, he'll just park anywhere.
Oh.
He'll park in the garage. He'll park on a driveway, like not a driveway, but on the sidewalk or in
Right.
illegal spots, because he's worked it out that it's still cheaper.
To get the ticket than to you know what?
More convenient.
That's not wrong.
Like if he's going to drive around and look for a parking garage, like just
If money is no object,
money is no object and you're Barry Diller and don't give a shit.
just like make it easy and don't, you know.
But he's come out and he's talked about and he was very honest. He's like, look, I know this is something that it seems like I'm self-aware enough to know that everybody has known this, but
Right,
I
but-
felt like I needed to address it. But this is part of his memoir.
Yes.
New York Magazine got it.
Coming up, but 83 years old and speaking his truth.
I got
Good for him. Totally.
I love it.
It's great.
Him, and in a world of where we're just so disappointed by our billionaires lately,
Yeah, be a good billionaire.
be like,
Be a good billionaire.
we have a good one.
I can't wait to read the book.
I'm like
I know. What's it called? Me and Diane?
me and Diane.
Me and Diane. That's exciting. Yeah. I knew what you were doing.
What am I doing?
You're doing John Cougar Mellencamp. Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane, but still,
It's a little ditty about me and Diane.
Diddy's on trial right now. The jury selection.
He is
So much going on, but we have a structure. We want to talk
allegedly.
allegedly. But really, mazel. I think the mazel of the day, as Andy Cohen would say, would be to Barry Diller.
Yeah, mazel.
Mazel.
Yeah.
Mazel. We're going to talk about the Met Gala in a minute,
Fun.
but I want your take
Okay.
on, have you been following the news that there's 2 different news cycles, one around Harry
Tell me.
and one around Meghan. Okay, so I wrote about it. It's in the newsletter. Harry lost his case that he took up with the UK, I guess the royal family.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize. Yep.
So when he and Meghan decided to say hasta la vista to the royal family, we're moving to America, the royal family cut off their...
Yes, that I knew.
Which you understand. I sort of understand.
Well, yeah.
But I also understand the need for having it if they're in the UK. Now, what they're saying is, yes, you can, of course, have your own private security and pay for it. That's not the issue. What
Right.
I realize is that private security in the UK, they cannot carry guns. So if you have a private security guard in America,
Oh.
UK, the only people allowed to carry guns are the secret police. The gun, even the
Oh, I did not realize that.
regular police, like the bobbies, they don't carry guns. Like,
Oh, well,
thing.
it's a much less violent society.
Right. But you need, if you're going to have your kids and, you know, and especially from where he's come from, watching what,
Mom, of course.
you know, he's going to be hypersensitive to the security of his family.
Yep.
And what's happened. And so he could, of course, have his own private security, but the private security cannot carry guns in the UK, and they will not be able to be shared with the government on secret information, so intelligence.
Okay.
Whereas if you have your private detail here, they, like the intelligence community in the US would work with your, like if you hired Kroll and Associates,
Right.
security Kroll and Associates or Gavin DeBecker.
Yes.
They'll then work.
They work within the FBI and local PD and all that kind of stuff. Yes.
That does not happen in the UK. They're like,
Oh.
so you're on your own. You're a freaking island.
Oh, that's
I
hard.
understand why there's a problem.
You know what? This is a real clarification. I did not realize any of that.
You're welcome.
It really, I actually thought it was much more, I did think it was much more sort of frivolous than I realized.
Like, he's not saying, I'm not willing to pay for this, but I need to have... Like,
it doesn't work if it's not coordinated.
Correct.
Totally.
It doesn't work if it's not coordinated. It doesn't work if these guys are just glorified bouncers.
Right.
So, so then he was very triggered, obviously, by the boss. And also, apparently, with the awareness that he was given through intelligence of his end, that the court case, that people that were in the sort of ruling royal family is involved with. So this was not a separation of church and state.
Oh, what a mess.
So it's a mess. So
it's a wreck.
What is the unthinkable with the Brits? And he sits down for a tell-all interview, a la his mom, who was known to do that.
Right.
He does a tell-all interview with BBC where he, talks about his upset, talks about the rift in his family, talks about the fact that he hasn't spoken to his father.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
Cancer, and he has no insight into what his dad's real health is.
Right. And there was some hullabaloo around the fact that Kate had gone to see King Charles and came out with a letter that was dated April 8th, 2025, and that she seemed visibly upset by it. And royal watchers were saying it was some sort of it was his wishes for succession or something. Right. It was all gossip that I saw, but basically there were pictures of the...
Kate are going to be king and queen.
That seems
very...
That seems probable, right?
So we have, and everybody's up in arms, and a lot of the Brits are calling him petulant or whatnot. But I did, and I put it in the newsletter. There are actually some hardened Brits that are defending him and saying, "Well, let's just be realistic here. Let's just see what's happened," and explaining it.
And honestly, when you explain it that way, it makes tons of sense, because if you can't have a coordinated protection, then are you even protected? Right. It doesn't.
Here, his family won't come visit him here, but his mom died a horrible.
I still remember.
I remember everything.
I was a senior at the University of Wisconsin. I had the flu. I woke up at 4 a.m, and BBC had taken over our PBS channel.
Oh my God.
I remember it clear as day. So, and
you're such a child. She's so young. I was older than you. I was living, actually.
You're a year older than me.
2 years.
Okay.
So I was 2 years into my professional career.
All right. It was adult. Okay.
And I was living for a very brief minute in Los Angeles. In that weird dark, when you're in LA and you don't know people and you're poor, it's a really terrible place.
I can't imagine. New York is bad enough, but at least you can get to everyone on foot. Right.
Actually fine. You can grab pizza, you meet people.
It's true.
Being poor in New York is great. Being poor in LA is terrible. Being rich in New York is great. Being rich in LA is great. Being rich else.
Most places seems...
Being poor in LA and not knowing people is a terrible place. And I was having a hang with people I was just getting to know. And when we found out, we were out to dinner.
Oh, sure. The time difference.
Yeah. And it was in LA. We were out and nobody had phones, obviously. We didn't have
No, you're like the town crier. They're just people who run through the streets and would tell you when something terrible happened. It was
a restaurant that had a TV on at the bar, and that's how the news trickled out from. We were sitting outside, but it trickled from within.
Wow.
To out, and everyone's just and it passes around like a game of telephone.
Yeah.
Table to table to table. And I think there were so many rumors. I'd heard that the kids had died, and then it was oh no, the kids weren't in the car. It was.
Thank God.
So anyway, you understand where his
100%
comes from. Then we have Meghan.
Yeah.
We're at a podcast, and Meghan did a podcast, and apparently this is her first. I would have sworn she'd done other podcasts, but she did a podcast with this woman who is a woman I'd never heard of. Jamie something.
Jamie, JLK or JKL. Those are her initials.
Let's see. Hold on. You guys, you want to...
It's Jamie Lynn.
Look at how old I am. Who did the podcast with Meghan Markle? Oh, yes. The Jamie Kern Lima.
I was close. JKL. Yeah.
So had you heard of her?
No, but it's funny. I had not heard of her, but the minute I saw her face and heard her voice, I recognized it, but I didn't know from where.
I'm going to give you a little background, but so she's like that. She's a little creepy.
It was a little like Creepy Doll.
She is interviewed Like,
She's huge.
Oprah?
Yeah.
She's interviewed Melinda Gates.
She has hundreds of thousands of followers. I mean, it's a proper big
It's
podcast.
like a woo-woo. It's a woo-woo.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and it's not my vibe.
No, me neither.
I don't listen to those types of podcasts. So it's those people that are, looking for spiritual fulfillment and like filling their tank, if you will.
Oh, is that what it is? I know there are rocking chairs involved.
And she smiled and she just looks like she's maybe had just like, I don't know, like few too many happy pills and almost like plastic surgery that gave her like a permy smile.
There's a permy smile. I don't know what it's from, but there's definitely a permy smile.
The crazy eyes, like guys, it's crazy. It's a little creepy to me, but she was a beauty pageant contestant back in her youth. She then was a newscaster, so she had some sort of, I don't know, like if she was a newscaster, like Maureen Sanchez was in the news world. I don't
know.
And then she was like a makeup brand. But anyway, she is also one of Meghan's dearest friends and lives next door to hers. And
is that the connection?
in Montecito.
Oh, okay.
So here's some of the drama. First and foremost, the interview itself. But during the interview, this woman, Jamie, talks like this. And she's like, so when I was feeling down, like, I got this gift basket from my darling friend Meghan, and you just knew what to make of me, make me feel good. Now, the gift basket, which they show, we have to show it. The gift basket looks sad. It's a sad little gift basket. Like, I put in the newsletter, send me a Zabar's gift basket. They had those with 2 dozen bagels, 84 jars of things.
Yeah, of course.
That's a gift basket. If you or anybody, you send a friend a gift basket, it shouldn't just be filled with like some filler and then like 2 things of like oatmeal. I don't know. But what was telling about the picture of the gift basket was it said, with compliments from HRH Meghan of Sussex.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So,
that's a gift note for you.
So first of all, no. Imagine if I sent you a gift and was like, thank you for being on my pod.
From Ms. Hammerling.
Compliments of Ms. Hammerling and Monsieur
Potato. Le potat.
Logo. Like I should have like a little my crest, my fan crest.
No, it doesn't feel warm.
It's not warm. You don't send that to friends. You don't send that to anybody. But the big controversy was that they had made an agreement with the Queen before she died that they would not use
HRH.
For commercial purposes. So of course Meghan and Harry's team has fought back and saying it wasn't for commercial purposes. Well then, what purpose was it? You gave it to a podcaster who then broadcast it. If it's for a friend, why on earth would you say with compliments from HRH? Like you would say, love you so much, girl. Thank you. Feel better.
Yeah, feel better.
Whatever. It's so absurd. So that went falls to the wall crazy. Everybody flipped out.
Okay.
Brits can't stand stuff like that, right? So, and then
it's like, look, what is the HRH you get for serving the United Kingdom?
You've given up. You are
and you don't want to do that now. It feels like a quid pro quo that's not that hard to hold your end of the bargain up on, especially since I don't feel like this podcaster is friends with her because of the HRH.
No, well, I mean,
right?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just assuming.
I think that Meghan, it goes back to her show, and she was like, "It's so funny you call me Meghan Markle. You know, I'm Sussex now."
It's someone on the Netflix show did her so dirty for not cutting that out.
Why did they not cut that out?
I feel like there were choices made
because I talked about it in the podcast when it came out. They should have cut that out.
That should have been cut out. Instead it was like everywhere.
So another thing about the pod is, well, let's just play a little clip.
That man loves me so much, and look what we've built. We've built a beautiful life, and we have 2 healthy, beautiful children. And, and I always think about it like the end of Super Mario Brothers, when you get to the final level. And what's the goal in Super Mario? They're like, slay the dragon, save the princess. I'm like, that's my husband.
H. She says, H loves me so much. And they reveal in the podcast why they call each other H and M. Do you want to know why?
Is it their names?
Because his name is Harry and her name is Meghan. I call you H because his name is Harry, so H. And H loves me so much. That man loves me so much. He's a fox. She talks about how she writes You know, it's very funny. I heard from a few of my friends who are young moms.
Right.
And they were like, you want to know what my life is like? I'm running around starting in the beginning of dawn. Like, I had to clean up my kids. They've like pooped everywhere.
Right.
Bathroom's a mess. I have to get them ready for school. I make their fucking food. I have to deal with my husband and deal with him. And then in running around, I have a job. I am also running around the house and I have to pick them up. And then I get them fed. And I'm also dealing with conference calls and trying to make it work. They're screaming. Legos are everywhere. The house is a mess. I get them to bed. All I want to do is get into my bed and die. Like,
right.
Collapse. And what she says is that every night after I put the kids to bed, I send them an email.
I saw this with the photos from their day.
Yeah, or just like, you know, and I just say like, you were so funny today. You did this, you made this joke. And so when they're older and I give them a stack of these emails, they'll be like, my mom loved me so much.
Right. Well, isn't it? And the thing is that she set up email addresses for them. And so she sends it to, but that they don't know about. And she sends them these musings and pictures throughout the day, which is like lovely.
I mean, it's adorable, but at the same time, when she's trying to be relatable, these young moms.
You have to pick one or the other.
You have cooks, you have drivers, you have all of this stuff. And like, I'm hanging on, like grasping at straws here. And
right.
You're making me feel like shit.
There are like a lot of models that she could have gone down, right? Like there's the Martha Stewart, there's the Ina Garten, you know, there is semi-homemade Sandra Lee. Remember her back in the day?
Did you ever see her in the Kwanzaa cake?
No, yes, I did see her in the Kwanzaa cake. But there are like a lot of...
That was a producer who did her dirty, wanted to...
No.
Yeah, because there is no such thing as a Kwanzaa cake.
I mean, I didn't think so, but...
It's like, I'm going to get angel food, but she did all of the sort of black tropes. Like,
oh.
Yeah, it's the most racist.
That's terrible. But she had her for busy moms, right? Here's how you can make it for your kids. Here's how you can semi-homemade, right? That was her whole shtick.
Right.
So it's like, I just feel like Meghan's like swerving lanes, and she just needs to pick one that she feels the most comfortable in and just like stick with it.
That's such an interesting idea. You're right. She doesn't really, you're like, who is your audience? Who do you stand for?
Right. Because like the funny thing that I found, I watched every episode of her show.
Wow.
I did.
You did.
Because you know what? Because honestly, it made me laugh in a way. I wasn't laughing at her, but it was like a particularly dark time. And I was like, you know what? I kind of needed this nothingness, right? But like, I didn't learn how to cook anything.
I did make the viral...
The pasta in a pot? How was that?
I liked it.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing. It's like frothy fun. And I think that if she stuck with frothy fun, everyone would get on board. But it's like talking about the edible flowers at the time 100.
Oh my.
Like you can be frothy fun, or you can be like, I'm writing a think piece about, like, I don't know, she just needs to pick one. And I feel like the frothy fun may be her lane, and that's great and everyone will enjoy it. But like, just it's talking about the edible flowers at the time,
putting the pretzels and like taking them out of the bag and putting
and you know what though, that's also fine. If I got to your house and you had peanut butter pretzels in my room and I knew that they were Utz pretzels, that's fine. You did a nice thing. You made it look nice for my room.
I just didn't like the way she presented it. It was just like, this is such a great idea, like a unique idea. It's like, babe, I take things out all the time.
Well, that's true too.
So that's
also the show. She could also just do a show on calligraphy that would be really interesting.
Everyone talks about her handwriting, and
it's exceptional. It is a lost art form. But like when she got to the end of that final episode, I think it was the finale episode, and she had like lined paper under regular paper. I was impressed.
My handwriting is horrendous.
So is mine.
I write like I have lived in a cave since.
Because we were taught cursive, but not the way she was.
I didn't learn cursive. Was never my dyslexia allowed.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I just write scribbles and hope and pray somebody can understand.
But like, I hope she finds her lane. Because now she mostly just feels uncomfortable in a lot of these venues. And I think it's because she's just not picking the thing that she actually really wants to do.
Well, this is a good segue.
Okay.
Picking her own lane and choosing a lane is Gaga. We're going to switch gears.
Okay, tell me. Tell me about Gaga.
Gaga performed in Rio this past weekend.
I did. Like, oh, it's what, over 2 million now at this point?
2.5 million
Yeah.
people. It's a free concert on Copacabana Beach.
Which is incredible.
I had friends that were there. I was like, I don't understand what I'm seeing. Like, I was watching through their lens.
Right.
But I couldn't, like, my brain could not comprehend what I was seeing, what I was grafting. Like, I was like, and they're like, those are people. I just couldn't comprehend
So many people.
what I was seeing. So let me just show this video.
Okay.
Tell me what you think. I mean,
It's incredible. It's aspirational. Like, she has accomplished so much.
you know, she went to Sacred Heart in New York City,
Really?
and she was bullied.
I didn't know that.
Classmates. I'm a Sacred Heart girl. I went to Sacred Heart in Greenwich. I'd started in New York. I went to the New York thing for a minute, but I was a Greenwich girl. I'm still friends with my classmates, some of my classmates from there, and so I'm very grateful. But the New York City Sacred Heart girls were bitches.
Oh,
I mean, she's much younger than me, but I don't.
that's too bad.
I think that was sort of.
High school's bad enough.
And so there was a whole Facebook group dedicated to making fun of her. That started with Sacred Heart Girls.
How rotten.
How she wants to be will never be famous. And so here she is. That was
Last laugh.
2007. It says Lollapalooza. I think it might have been like the parking lot of Lollapalooza.
That was one of the real side stages.
The stage off the side stage off the side.
That was homemade. That was homemade.
And to then fast forward, and there was a moment where we were like, "Where's Gaga been?" You know, she took a minute. She then just performed for 2.5 million people, and imagine being in that crowd and listening, and especially for the gay community, who she has been.
Icon. Yeah. Such an advocate.
Right? Mm-hmm. I love Avacadabra, and I love the.
I did. I listened a little bit on the radio the other day. It was very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of the inspiration for having a record player, which is off camera, I have a record player, was because somebody gave me the couple of Gaga albums that were on
Really?
vinyl, and I was like, I need a record player for this.
Yeah, and there it is. It's beautiful.
He's there. Okay, so moving on, did you watch or see any of the Met Gala unfold?
I did. I can't help it. You know, I went to the Met Gala.
No.
Yes, 2014.
Who dressed you?
Me. I was a government employee, so I left the White House. My final day at the White House was on a Friday, May 2nd. We had the Correspondents' Dinner that weekend, and then Monday I went to the city. I got my hair done at a salon. Then I went to Barney's to get my makeup done. And when I got to Barney's, they were like, "Are you going to get your hair done?" And I'm like, "It is done." And they were like, "No, it's not." And they fixed it because I was such a wreck. And my dress was from a consignment shop. It was Prada, but it was from a consignment shop in D.C. And the tailor next door to it took a village. The tailor came over while I was trying on dresses and was like, "I think I can make this big enough to fit you."
Oh my God, stop.
It is.
Walk the red carpet.
I did.
And then what goes on inside?
Oh, you guys, it is so many hours of no food and just drinks.
So,
And also,
fitting, or you just
full disclosure, one, you're mingling, but also you get like an arrival time,
Right,
You're told when to arrive. So the like clutch times are like 8 o'clock, 8:30.
the Rihanna times?
I was there. My call time was 5:45. I walked through the exhibition. I walked through the exhibit.
He was.
Oh, it was a specific designer. He was a man. I sat at his table with his family.
What? This was 2015.
2014. I was with, I think his name was James. But yes, Anna Wintour invited me as her guest, and it was lovely. But I have never been a bigger fish out of water or hungrier in my whole life. Charles James. I said James. Yes, Charles James. His family was so nice.
I don't know him. Known for his highly structured and elaborate ball gowns, particularly during the 1950s.
Yes.
The gala featured a retrospective exhibit of his designs at the Met. Wow.
And part of the reason was that one, a as you remember, Anna Wintour.
When the carpets just were red. They
Just red. No, just red. And Anna had been a big fundraiser for President Obama. And one of my favorite memories is that Andre Leon Talley, may he rest in peace, came to New Hampshire to do GOTV for us right before the primary in 2008. Yeah. So it was really nice to be invited, but I was people were like, who let Punky Brewster in? Like I was talk about homemade. I was very homemade that night.
That's part of your
that's my charm.
That's your charm. But what a different time, because that was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was obviously before social media,
Yep.
the way that it is today.
Absolutely. I had to really scrounge for a picture.
Influencers.
Yes.
Now, so like the evolution, there's a lot of criticism about the Met Gala now, where you just see people who like the Emma Chamberlains, who is an influencer.
I had to Google who that was when I saw the picture. I didn't know. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know who any
Kardashians and
Right. It was much
Bieber.
Even I was on the cusp. I went when it was still on the cusp of being a very like just New York high society event plus fashion.
Right.
Not what it is now.
Now it's just like it's a lot of people don't even stay for the thing.
No, you just do the red carpet,
And then they go.
which was extraordinary last night.
Well, I thought, first of all, I'm a big fan of what they do with the carpet each year.
Okay.
Now that it's, each year she has such a eye for what the theme is.
Yeah.
And what people are going to look like. And then obviously some of the big names get told the sort of color.
Yes, so they can coordinate.
They can coordinate their outfits that are going to look good on the red carpet. I really respect that. But this year, the theme was obviously the black dandy.
Yep.
And the tailoring of that sort of that era, and there was some fear that there's a bug. Sorry.
It's a little gnat.
There was some fear that white people were going to either be fearful of this,
Oh, for God's sake.
go forward, or take it too far. And there were a few. There was that Lisa Rinna, Harry Hamlin's daughter.
Oh, I didn't see her.
She was wearing bright red lace.
Oh, I did.
Rag.
Oh, I did see that. That was incredibly wrong.
And some of the girls, white girls, did the
I saw that. Yeah.
hair. That's sort of, and that was criticized.
There is paying homage and then there's appropriation.
There's appropriation,
Right.
Some appropriation. I mean, looking like a I don't know what that outfit was that was Serena daughter.
I didn't know who that was, but I did see that. That was outrageous.
Underwear underneath, like in multiple, like lace and different textures. And
See, that's when
was real.
that's
To me,
I am gonna guess whoever her stylist was white. And I would just say that if I wanted to attend that event and I got invited, I would just pick
called Oswald Boateng. One of the most incredible.
and be like, how can I show respect and participate, not make the event about me? You know what I mean? Like that's
Speaking of respect, and you've seen our girl Lisa from the very, very big superstar in Korea who
for White Lotus. Yes.
I think she was dressed by Pharrell, but for Nui, but she was wearing
A leotard.
well, a lot of people no pants.
No pants. That's a
Apparently, Pharrell told Sabrina Carpenter, "You're too short. No pants for you." So that's why she.
no one is. I am 5'2". No one has ever been like, Alyssa, no need for pants. Just we're gonna put some embroidered stockings on you and call it a day. That's never happened to me.
Well, take a look at this photo. That is Lisa, where she is wearing underwear. And if you zoom in on the underwear, it's Rosa Parks.
Oh no. Oh no. No. You know what? You know what you don't do? You don't put Rosa Parks on your tush.
You don't.
Nope.
On her tush, it was on.
I don't even. I was trying to be.
Here, bro. I don't. She doesn't know who Rosa Parks is. I am 98% sure because she's not from here.
Wow.
Why would she? She's a.
That's uncomfortable.
I don't. But Pharrell did that, so I don't know.
Wow. I mean, I guess I still could walk the carpet at Met Gala. That's pretty upsetting. Who was your fave?
I mean, Diana Ross.
Diana Ross, exceptional.
Diana Ross.
And she had all of her kids' names and grandkids' names embroidered into the train.
Can I tell you this little? I'm going to give you a little tea.
What?
So her son you see him at the bar.
Yeah.
He's there all the time. He's a really, really nice guy.
He was there last night, wasn't he?
was at the event last night. He's married to the Ashley Simpson.
Yes.
We were having cocktails. This is like a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. And he was talking about how he's really good friends with my friend Nichelle, and we were just catching up, and I was getting to be a fly on the wall. But he was talking about his mom, and I don't know how we got onto the subject, but he was like, "Oh, my mom just lives her life as like I am Diana Ross."
Right.
And I said, "Well, how does that manifest?" He's like, "Okay, well, when we're driving, like for example, or going to CVS, and I'm like, Mom, we have to go in the parking lot." She goes, "No, there'll be parking in front." And he goes, "There's never parking in front." She goes, "I am Diana Ross. There'll be parking."
Good for her.
There's always parking. There's always parking in anywhere she wants to go because she's Diana Ross and
I love her.
energy out there.
Tracy Ellis looked gorgeous too.
Parking. And so anytime I'm looking for a spot, I'm like, I am Diana Ross. I'm telling you, it works. I'm just saying, hone in on that. I thought, I'm not a really super huge Marc Jacobs fan right now, but then I clearly am because I think Rihanna was wearing Marc Jacobs.
Yeah.
And Rihanna announced did another baby drop
A big one.
this year. And, they can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
No.
If I could marry all of them, that's, I guess I should say for my make out, marry, and mute, but Coleman Domingo,
Okay.
Zendaya,
Yes.
Rihanna, and A$AP Rocky.
Okay. That's a nice trio.
I thought they were all incredible. I thought Coleman Domingo, as one of the hosts, was more subtle than he needed to be. I thought he could have been a little more over the top. We've seen him over the top.
He did. I loved Regina King.
She was gorgeous.
She was gorgeous, and she has just persevered and known like such sadness that just seeing her be joyful and beautiful, I thought was great.
She lost her child.
Right.
Yeah. My biggest sort of, I can't fucking believe it happened.
What?
Was Zendaya and that Japanese actress
In the same outfit.
in almost virtually same outfit.
Yeah.
They're both famous stylists. Like Zendaya has La Roche, and I forget the name of the woman. It's a very famous stylist who did hers. They're like.
Wouldn't the fashion house have told them?
I would have. I don't know.
Like, you only send one out, don't you?
Maybe they were two fashion houses and was it an homage to Diana Ross? It looked like Bianca Jagger.
It felt Bianca Jagger-ish. I mean, like, well, and I may be saying that because people posted pictures of Bianca Jagger at Studio 54 in like the same outfit. Yeah.
And then Diana did have that outfit, but I thought Zendaya's outfit was just more tailored and more beautiful, but they were exactly the same hat, same. I would die. It happened to me at a wedding. That the couple were only married a year, so maybe it tells you everything. But I get on the bus. Everybody's like, "Yeah, Brooke, you look so great. Love the dress." It was like an emerald green.
Okay.
Somebody else gets on the bus and they're wearing the same dress but in a light pink. And we were like, okay, it's so funny, huh?
Right.
And then the woman who was writing the article for Vogue gets on wearing the exact same dress as me.
Wow.
And she was not happy. We get off the bus where the reception is, and she's really unhappy.
Right.
And then I'm unhappy, and I'm very uncomfortable because now this old woman is sending daggers. And it was a woman who also came from politics, Genevieve. You know Genevieve? Genevieve Roth?
Oh, how do I know that name?
Used to work maybe in the Biden White House.
Maybe.
She now has this really cool communications company called Invisible Hand.
Oh.
And like events and whatever.
Good for her.
But she came up to me and she goes, "I know this is really weird, but I used to work in, ops and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a spare dress in the back that she brought with her to this remote location where the wedding was." And so I flipped out of my beautiful green dress into this vampire wife dress that was lovely, not the same vibe.
Right.
But I was like, okay.
Because you knew.
Because it was going to be uncomfortable. Anyway, I thought they did a really beautiful job.
I thought it was stylish and it was beautiful, and like Andre Leon Talley was smiling down from heaven.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up because we got to go.
Okay.
We have one TikTok trend of the week. It's this.
That was rude. That was pretty fucking rude.
That was rude.
And that's fun. You're going to hear it all over. That was rude. It actually comes from a scene from Death Becomes Her, one of my favorite musicals.
That's what you've said.
On Broadway.
Yes.
Amazing. Go see it. But that's where the trend, if you hear that sound, like, that was rude. They're talking about their most traumatic thing. Like, my mom died. That was so rude. Thank God for TikTok. You don't need therapy anymore. Just get into a sound. Last but not least.
Yes.
Marry, make out, mute.
Mute Meghan discourse till she finds her lane.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Mute the Meghan discourse, not mute Meghan.
Mute the Meghan discourse, because if you mute the Meghan discourse, you've muted everything.
Okay.
Marry Tracy Ellis Ross. I just love her vibe. She's just, and then wait.
She's joyful.
Who's my last one? Marry? Make out. Who do I want to make out with? Sarah Snook.
Snook.
Snook?
I think so. She did an interview where she
Snook? I just loved it.
Snook.
Sarah Snook, aka Shiv from Succession.
Hey, Liz Murdoch. We love you, Liz.
Like, and Dorian Gray, which I'm just obsessed with her because she talked about how she learned all of her different parts the same way that Taylor Swift said she trained for her shows.
Which is
training on the treadmill and like doing her lines.
alcohol.
Yeah, and no caffeine and lots of sleep.
Can't even.
I know.
My makeout, Coleman Domingo.
Okay.
He's my new Pedro Pascal.
I get it.
They're not going to want me, but I want that.
That's how it should be.
I would like to marry Rihanna and A$AP Rocky.
A throuple.
Happy.
Okay.
They need childcare. Well, and I want to mute Harry and Meghan. The discourse. I want to mute their voices. I want to mute that weird, creepy podcaster.
That was weird.
Weird.
It was weird.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You have to go to a meeting now.
I have a very important
And I have to
cocktail.
go to osteopath and get like.
And then we're meeting for dinner.
Yeah, we're having dinner
Okay.
with Monica.
And then I'm sleeping over.
You are.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Mwah.
Pop culture.